Hello everyone, welcome to another video. It is me, Desiree, and today I want to do a little check-in on the plants I shopped for at the beginning of the month. So at the beginning of the month, and what I kind of want to do every month, is to go shopping in my own plant collection for plants that are a little neglected, a little dusty, perhaps I completely forgot about them, and I want to bring them to the forefront, clean them up, maybe repot them, give them some love, and make them feel like brand new again. And that way I hopefully won't feel like the need to constantly be buying new plants all the time, although that's never gonna stop. But I want to give my plants some love, especially the neglected ones. So the first one that I shopped for was my Raven ZZ, and I cleaned every single leaf on this plant. I actually spent about 3 or 4 days this month cleaning every single leaf in my house. I cleaned every leaf, I pruned every plant. It was a great 3 or 4 days. And this was one that I also cleaned, and the leaves look so good. They're so shiny and so beautiful. I did want to repot this. I never got around to it just because it's like in a weird kind of soil. I mean, I'm sure the soil works fine for the plant. I don't know anything, but I guess I just don't like how it looks. And I wanted to repot it, but I never got around to it. But I did put it in a new pot. I didn't pot it in here, it's just sitting in one of these pots here. And I just plopped it in there. This is one of those ceramic pots that Costa Farms puts out with their plants. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if this was the original pot this plant came in, but I had it in something else for a long time. I put it in here. It looks great. I moved it to the top shelf here, so it's getting a lot more light, a lot more attention from me. It looks good on the shelf. It's sitting next to this one, like on that side. And I love it. I love this plant now. I'm glad I brought it to the forefront and shopped for it. I kind of want to repot it still and put it in something else. I'm picturing terracotta. I just think that color of the leaves will look good with terracotta. I don't know. But I do want to repot it still, but I'm glad I shopped for that one. Okay, my favorite plant that I shopped for in my own collection this month was this. I just saw some more cat hair on it. How did it get more cat hair on it already? Anyway, this, I don't know the name of it. It's some sort of little succulent, and I repotted this. I took it out of its old pot. I gave it some new soil, I think, but I did clean it up a little bit. It was covered in cat hair and dust because I had it sitting on the windowsill in front of the open window. So it would get just like wind blowing on it, and the cat likes to look out the window. It was looking a little worse for wear. I cut off a lot of the old little leaves that were kind of ugly and dirty and just pruned it a little bit. I watered it. It's nice and plump and firm now, and I love this little plant. This poor thing was so neglected. Like I said, it was sitting there just getting decimated by the dust and the dirt and the wind and the cat hair, and repotted it, gave it some love, and it has turned into one of my favorite little babies. I love it. I moved it to the other side, so I see it all the time. I love it. It's so beautiful. One that did not turn out so good is this one. This is my Peperomia Frost. This is one of my first plants that I ever bought, and I'm so sad that I'm pretty sure it's dead now. It was my fault. I overwatered it. I overwatered it one time, and I didn't overwater it by just a little bit. I let it sit in the basin of water for probably a week. I do bottom water my plants all the time. For example, with this one, I just pour the water in here and I let it sit inside of this container, and I just let all the water soak in there. And this plant used to live in a situation like that where it was in a cover pot, and I just poured the water in there, which I never do. And anytime I do that, I get the plant and I move it to the sink area. That way I know all these plants are currently being watered. So I'll know, okay, I gotta check on that plant, it's sitting in water. But I poured the water in it where it sits on the shelf, and I completely forgot. I don't even know why I did that. I never do that for this exact reason. Anyway, several days went by. I noticed the plant was still like soaking wet, and I'm like, why is that plant still so wet? I watered it so long ago. And then it hit me. I never took it out of the water, and I picked it up, and there was like an inch of water still sitting in there. There's something on my eyelash. And the plant never really recovered. I tried to dry it off as best as I could. This was kind of all that was left. I kind of tried to repot it, but it's not doing well. And I am just gonna toss it, this poor little thing. But it was on the decline. It was my fault. I tried to save it this month, but it just did not work out. Okay, the next plant that I shopped for was this rickrack cactus or a fishbone cactus. It's one of these kinds here. And it's in this cute little planter. I forgot to dust this one. Oh my God, I'm gonna do it right now. I just said I went around and dusted every single plant and I could see dust on this one. I must have missed it. But to be honest, I didn't dust all of my cactus. Actually, I did. All of these like jungle cactus, I did dust, but for some reason, this one got missed. Let me give him a little wipe down so he feels brand new. Okay, there we go. That's better. And I really like this plant a lot. I was gonna move it in here, that way I'd see it all the time, but a couple of you guys left comments saying this kind of jungle cactus doesn't like super bright, harsh light, which this room tends to get later in the afternoon. So I left it where it was. I didn't pay too much attention to it. I think because I didn't move it like to a new spot where it looked new to me, but I did give it some love. I cleaned it up, I watered it, I dusted it just now. It's growing a lot, it's doing well, and I like it. I like this cactus a lot. I wish a couple of these would grow that way, but I think because I have it this way facing the window, all the plant is going to grow that way. But this one's doing good. Love it a lot. They're propagations that my boyfriend's mom gave me, and it's so cute. It's a little family heirloom, and I love it. Okay, the last plant, it's a heavy boy, that I shopped for is this one. This is a Calathea musaica, also known as a Calathea network. If you can see, the pattern on these leaves is very, very cool. And this Calathea is not like your typical Calathea. It's a cool Calathea. It can tolerate a lot of drought. I mean, it doesn't want to. It will die eventually, but it's not going to immediately crisp up and die like your typical Calathea. And actually, these plants used to be in opposite pots, and when I switched them, this plant immediately looked so much better. I did go around and cut off all the crusty tips on all these leaves. I cleaned off every single leaf. I watered it, and it is also sitting in one of these pots, just sitting inside of a cover pot. And it's doing great. It's doing great. I moved it in here. I have it on the bottom shelf there, and I just love it. I love this dark combo with the green leaves. It's beautiful. I still want it to grow. I want it to grow bigger and more beautiful. So if you have one of these and it's growing and growing, what the heck are you doing? Because this plant never really grows. I mean, it'll put out a leaf every now and then, but leaves die on it all the time. But this plant is a real trooper. You know, it's put up with a lot. It's put up with a lot of my mistakes and oopsies, but it's still here, still doing good, and still just surviving out of spite, I think. Anyway, I have a little pin to show you. My boyfriend bought me this pin. It says, survive out of spite. And it's a little plant growing through cement with a little evil look on his face. I think it's so cute. Anyway, that's why that came to my mind. Okay, but that is it. That's my little check-in on how the plants I shopped for are doing. One perished, the others I really love, but this right here I think was my favorite. The biggest transformation, I don't know, it just stole my heart. But that is it. Let me know some plants that were neglected this month. Did you give them any love? I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe so you don't miss my next one, and I will see you later in another video. Goodbye.